So it looks like Nvidia is selling off into earnings, guys. We have to break down the charts, what's going on, some news we got regarding China, and we're also going to break down Walmart, which, oh my goodness, guys, it is collapsing. So we have a lot to talk about. Hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, join the Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my trades. If you want to be in my private Discord, that's linked down below in the comments and the bio, or go to stasurfs.com/Patreon. And now, cheers, take a sip of your coffee, guys, and let's dive into it. So I'm sure you saw my last video. Every index in the U.S. market's down, oil's up, Bitcoin's exploding, the VIX is up, metals are up, everything is up except for, well, the stock market. And now Nvidia's down 0.5% on the day, trading down under or over $1 per share, which is not that bad, but the critical piece of, well, I guess charting that I'm seeing today is the fact that we're taking out this key support. So I don't care that Nvidia is only down 0.5%. Earlier it was down even more. I care about the fact that we're taking out 217 and 218, which has held as support here pretty much all of August, right? All of August we've held 217, 218. Now we're starting to break through. We have a death cross on this 1 hour time frame, which is not great for the bulls heading into earnings. But this raises another question: is this the pullback that we would have gotten after earnings, but we're now getting it before earnings? It might be. It might be, considering we know what Nvidia has been doing. It sells off after earnings, but maybe it's now selling off before earnings, setting up for a potential pop, maybe. Or one could hope, right? You know, maybe it just goes down even more after earnings, guys. But the point is, right now, we're taking out a key support in the very short term, and this could lead us to slip a little bit more, maybe down to 210, 212 before earnings, which are coming out next Wednesday in less than a week. I'm excited. What about you guys? So we're seeing the sell-off accelerating. I think we have a little more downwards pressure to go here, 210, 212, and maybe we start to see consolidation and even start to run up into that earnings report. And then again, historically, Nvidia recently at least has sold off after earnings, but that doesn't mean it has to happen again. Who knows? This is why I don't trade earnings, guys. It's a gamble. I don't care what you see on, X, what you see on, YouTube, across social media. Oh, this guy used leverage. Oh, this guy did that. At the end of the day, they're gambling on earnings. Nobody knows how the price action is going to react, but I know for sure I'm still long, and I like the developments we got out of China. Let me cover that quickly, and we'll break down some more stocks. Walmart in particular, which is completely falling off a cliff right now, guys. It is super ugly. So ByteDance and Tencent, we're hearing, have reportedly received approximately 10,000 H200 chips each, which you guys know China is a major market. Nvidia could survive without them, obviously, but they're a major market where this could potentially increase their revenue and profits massively for Nvidia. And there's the AI race, the AI war, which we're not going to get into that in this video. Obviously, we're not giving China Nvidia's best chips. That would not make sense. The H200s are a bit older, but they're still obviously very good. So ByteDance and Tencent have reportedly received around 10,000 H200 chips each, and other major Chinese technology companies may receive similarly sized batches, and the U.S. has reportedly authorized purchases of up to 100,000 H200s per approved company, and Nvidia is believed to have roughly 500,000 H200s reserved for potential customers in China. And the regulators in China, which you guys know, they're strict, right? Obviously, they want to keep everything in-house, but they're still requiring case-by-case approval and want most of the approved chips deployed in Hong Kong rather than mainland China. And the question is, guys, why is this important for Nvidia, right? First, it proves that actual shipments are now starting to begin, right? Which is big news. Nvidia previously had US authorization, but Beijing's restrictions prevented those approvals. We covered this, a couple of weeks ago, prevented the approvals from translating into actually meaningful sales. Moving from theoretical approval to physical deliveries is a very important step, which I don't know if that's fully being priced in to the stock yet. Maybe the stock has obviously some more hesitations about China, how much revenue is actually going to be produced by this, but we'll see. It could be a lot. It could be a lot, right? And the second key thing, Nvidia excluded China data center compute revenue from their previous guidance because management couldn't predict whether Beijing would actually permit shipments. And if deliveries scale beyond these first 20,000 chips, China would become an incremental source of revenue that wouldn't or wasn't included in Nvidia's original outlook, which that would be a big boost for the stock. I don't think that's being priced in yet. However, it is too early to assume a major earnings boost this quarter because, again, we don't know when Nvidia can recognize this revenue, how many shipments they'll actually make, or, the additional orders. I mean, there's still a lot going on, but this is a big development. And the third big thing here, guys, is this demonstrates that China still needs Nvidia. Forget Huawei. Forget their in-house chips. Nvidia is the top dog. They still need Nvidia. Even if it's the older chips. Huawei and other Chinese companies are improving, especially for AI inference, but Chinese developers still rely heavily on Nvidia hardware and its CUDA software ecosystem, right, for actually training the largest frontier models. And China wants to support domestic semiconductor companies, but it also doesn't want ByteDance, Tencent, Alibaba, and, DeepSeek, for example, falling too behind, American AI companies, which makes sense. Think about it from the Chinese perspective. They want to dominate the world. They want to be the leaders in everything, militarily, with AI, technology, this, that, the third, they want to be the leaders. So it makes sense from their perspective. And of course, we want to be the leaders here in the United States, which is why we'll continue to clash with China for quite some time. So that's a quick rundown on Nvidia. Stocks coming down. I think it'll come down a little more, not too much. Investors are heavily awaiting the earnings, and maybe we'll get some more info and insight on China in that earnings call. Maybe we'll get some questions, hopefully some answers. So let me show you Walmart quickly here, guys. WMT is obviously the ticker. Everybody knows that. This thing is down 9%. Complete cliff drop here on Walmart. Disgusting drop. We hit about 115.16 in the pre-market. And now we're at, 104? We hit 102. This thing is about to go back into the double digits, which is absolutely insane. So Walmart reported, let me show you guys what's going on here. Walmart, well, they did decent on earnings, but we can see there are certain numbers that aren't so good. Let me actually read you the headlines quickly. They reported EPS adjusted of 81 cents. That beat the 74-cent estimate. Sales $187.93 billion, which also beat the $186.79 billion. So double beat out of Walmart, but other numbers didn't look so good. U.S. comparable sales grew only 2.6%, below the roughly 3.8% expected from Wall Street, and that was Walmart's first comparable sales miss in more than 5 years. You heard that right, 5 years. Customer traffic growth slowed to 1.5% versus 3% from last year. Higher gas prices are hurting lower income customers, right, is what we're hearing, causing them to pull back on discretionary purchases. That makes sense. Walmart expects fuel-related costs to run about $2 billion above its original assumptions. Third quarter guidance disappointed. Walmart expects adjusted EPS of 62 to 64 cents, below the roughly 67 cents analysts were expecting, even after, listen to this, and even after Walmart raised their full year 2026 outlook. Its projected EPS of $2.80 to $2.87 still remains below the estimate from Wall Street of $2.90. So yeah, they beat EPS and revenue, but when you pop the hood up and you look under the hood, Walmart is not doing that well right now, and the market was not expecting this. This is why we're getting this shock reaction, 10% drop. And there were a couple positives. I mean, revenue and adjusted EPS, again, both beat. E-commerce grew 24%. Advertising grew 43%. That's good, but not good enough to offset those other weak points of the report that we mentioned, and that's with, again, them raising the full year sales forecast, you know what I mean? So, not the best for Walmart. Now, am I buying it here? Hey, no, not yet, but I am watching it. The valuation has always been the concern for me with Walmart, especially when it was at 130. That's why, people were commenting back then, oh, I'm buying Walmart, I'm buying this. People in retail, not everybody, but they obviously not everybody, but sometimes, a lot of these people, they buy at the peaks, they're loading up when the valuation's super high, and Walmart was screamingly overvalued here. And look, now it's down $30. And I bet you those people that were buying it here are super excited. They're not buying it here, right? That's the crazy psychology when it comes to stock market investing. You get excited when a stock's going up. Everybody's talking about it, but you don't love it when it's down 25%, 30%. You don't like it there, which it doesn't make sense. So the valuation has come down a lot. It might still be, not the best. It's not dirt cheap, but obviously a lot better than what it was. But for me, look, it's a falling knife. But it's a lot better than what it was the other day, the other couple weeks. So I wouldn't blame you for buying Walmart here. In fact, if you believe in the company, it's one of your core holdings, which I don't own it, but if it is one of yours, listen, it might be a great time to add. This is when you want to buy your core holdings, when there's short-term weakness and you have that long-term outlook. And you cut through the noise and you realize the report wasn't terrible. They're just going through some short-term comparable sales store growth concerns, which I think will resolve. It's Walmart at the end of the day, guys. And the charts look good. When in doubt, zoom out. The 3-year chart looks good. The max chart looks good. So honestly, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to buy it. I got to do my homework a bit more, dive deeper into the valuation. But even as a swing trade, long-term aside, it doesn't look that bad. We're finally starting to come to a point where this is a good pullback. Finally. I mean, Walmart went on a tear for about a year and a half, guys. A year and 3 months. From March of 25, it hit $80, and it got all the way to 135 by May 26. We're talking 14 months straight the stock went up. We've been due for this pullback, and it's not bad at all. This is not bad at all. 25%. Again, this is where you'd want to buy if it's one of your core holdings, and if you want to even open a new position. I'm not saying it's a bad stock just because I don't own it. I just have more homework to do. I'm not going to just dive in on one massive red candle. That would not be wise in my opinion. You got to take it slow. Do some research, read deeper into the report, which I still need to do, which is why I'm not buying it yet. But man, if it comes under 100, especially in this window here, guys, I might have to. I mean, holy smokes. At 85 to $90, Walmart gets very interesting. Very interesting. Here at 100, it's interesting. So it warrants me doing more homework into it. It's getting there. So what do you guys think? I mean, are you buying it? Is it one of your core holdings? What do you think about Nvidia, which I do own, by the way? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button as well. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that follow button. And if you want to see what I'm doing in my portfolio, be a part of the Discord. See all my updates, my trades, my philosophies, how I break down my trades and stuff like that. It's all on Patreon. Link down below in the comments and the bio. I'll see you guys there. And with that being said, cheers. Have a great rest of your day.